Hello everyone! This is Sorry and Target welcoming you back to another video talking about Carnivores Dinosaur Hunt, where today we are going to be covering everything in Dinosaur Hunt's second update released on August 22nd, 2022, just over a year after the game's initial launch and first update. This version 1.02 update was made available on all platforms for free alongside the game's PC release and first DLC pack. But since I couldn't find any patch notes for this update, this is just going to be everything that I've been able to find on my own, so if there's anything that I missed, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Alright, apologies for this video being so late. I've been out of town and then got sick and recovered and then went out of town again and then had some technical struggles, but I'm back and ready to cover the game's second update. So without further ado, let's begin. Most of this update consists of bug fixes and polishing, but the big new feature added to the game with this update is the ability to modify the dinosaur spawns on each map, allowing hunters to basically customize each hunt to their specific liking. So if you want to hunt on an island full of only one specific dinosaur, you can now do that. Or if you want to go on a herbivores only hunt, you can do that too. Or if you just want to fulfill that primal urge to take on an island full of only carnivores, that option is now yours. Once you unlock a dinosaur's license, you can completely customize how frequently it spawns, or if it even spawns at all. Since the Carnivores reboot's dinosaur roster is so small, I've always been a big proponent of getting to hunt what I want, when and where I want, like my dream of getting to hunt a T-Rex in the Great Forest at dusk, which is something that the Pro license remedied, but this new modify feature takes a step further. Now, if you want to do something like a mini Hell Creek formation hunt, you can do that, and much more. My only real gripe with this feature is that it works on every dinosaur except for the T-Rex. Now, you can use it to enable or disable T-Rex spawns, but you can't modify the number of T-Rex spawns. In fact, the game literally tells you there could only be one T-Rex. And I'm just kind of sitting here wondering, why? Is that like an engine limitation thing or just an arbitrary decision? Why give us these options to modify its density if they don't even work? I thought the idea of a max density Rex only hunt sounded like an insane challenge, but turns out we can't even do it. I think it would have been cool to even just get like a couple of T-Rexes to spawn on each map, but we're still stuck with just the one. Also, the T-Rex is again misspelled Trex in these new menu texts, and I'm just like, please, let's not step backwards into those old habits. This new modify feature is really cool, but giving us the option to spawn in more Tyrannosaurus would be great. For the first time in 9 years, the pteranodons in the game now have sound effects. They can be heard screeching high above the hunting environments and as they hit the ground after being shot out of the air. This is a fantastic addition in my opinion. The calls sound a little more menacing and heavyset than I imagined these HD pteranodons sounding, but it's so nice and a bit startling at times to hear their screeches break up the otherwise quiet maps. One of my favorite new additions with this update is an in-hunt statistics screen, showing players how far they've traveled in the hunt, how long they've been hunting, the score and gems they've earned so far, and most importantly, how many of their downed dinosaurs they've already claimed, which is a feature that I've been waiting for since the game launched. The game now also gives you an immediate restart option upon being killed by a dinosaur. So no more having to go back to the main menu and then load up another hunt. Just hop right back into the same hunt and try again, just like the original Carnivores games. Also, the game will now give you a little warning if you've been killed a certain number of times in a row, and offer some tips to help you find some success. Now, I do believe the Carnivorous trike fiasco has been resolved, and the Triceratops is no longer misidentified as a carnivore in these main game over screens, at least as far as I can tell. But these little, hey, you suck at the game and you've been killed a bunch, those little tips, they still sometimes call it a predator. So if we could please fix that, and just accept that herbivores can be aggressive and not everything that kills does so for food, that would be swell. Also, upon restarting a hunt, I've gotten a bug with the miss device where the aiming animation cancels out. It's not after every restart, and it fixes itself after exiting a hunt, but I thought I'd still bring it up here. Some new control features include the ability to enable or disable camera bobbing when the player moves, so if you've been getting motion sick from the camera's simulation of a head bobbing up and down while walking, you can now turn that off for a smoother experience. In addition, we can now adjust our ADS sensitivity independently of the main sensitivity slider, which is a great addition that makes for much more fluid gameplay. Equipping the Pro license now displays a little license icon over the main dinosaur icons in the hunt selection screen. The running Ceratosaurus on loading screens has been replaced with a running Tyrannosaurus. And the camera now cuts to black when prompting an exit from either the trophy gallery or the shooting range, instead of just showing the player running in place. So those were all of the additions that I could find in this update. Now we'll look at some of the bug fixes as well. The red danger semicircle is no longer present in observer mode, which is a wonderful change. Although the game still teleports you away from your first dinosaur encounter, and then lets you get as close as you want after, which I think is still a little weird. The revolver can now be used in the shooting range, which is great, although the rangefinder still can't, which kinda defeats the purpose of finding out how the weapons perform at different ranges. The decoy's cooldown timer is now visible even without the radar selected, which is nice for those of us who like to hunt without radar. I admit, I still think the decoy's sound rings only being visible with the radar selected is pointless, because with the radar, we can see where the dinosaurs already are, so I'm just bringing it up again here as a suggestion. If you stop moving when your character runs out of stamina and starts breathing heavily, they'll stop that out-of-breath huffing and puffing, which is fantastic and much less annoying. Dinosaurs now make proper splashing sound effects when they move through water, which is so nice and very immersive. Although it would be nice if the player could have some splashing sounds when jumping in the water as well. And the Basmachi Rocks fog level now has its own menu backdrop and doesn't appear locked anymore when you're scrolling past it in the menu. Okay, so that's everything I could find in this new version 1.02 update. Now, I'd like to go over some of the things that still need fixing for the next update that I think should take pretty high priority. Most, if not all, of the dinosaur kill animations are still out of sync or distort the models or are just awkwardly quiet, and I really think fixing these animations needs to be of the highest priority. The game's been out for over a year and many of these animations are still broken. In addition, I still think they should be played more frequently. I understand wanting to make them less common so they don't get stale or repetitive, but honestly, they're still so glitchy that it's not even much of a reward to wait for. And I still have many players commenting on my videos who think their game is broken because the kill animations don't play all that often. So fixing them and making them happen more frequently, I think needs to be a pretty high priority for the next update. And again, as a suggestion, just using some of the dinosaurs' other animations that are already in the game, like their running and their eating animations, using those as additional kill animations would be a relatively simple way to add a lot of much needed variety to Dinosaur Hunt. The dinosaur sounds are also still getting detached from the models and remaining in one place when they walk or run through an area. I know Digital Dreams has been working on this one for a while, since it's been a problem since the game launched, so I hope it gets ironed out soon because it makes hunting by sound very difficult. The Gallimimus and Pelecanimimus still only spawn a couple at a time during a hunt, which is not near enough. There needs to be more of them to make the world feel alive. Also, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or if it's just me, but after this update, it feels like the ambient dinosaurs are programmed to follow the player around the map. Not like directly, but just stick close enough that if you stop to look around, they show up in the area, which gives the illusion of there being more on the map, when it's still just the same two that are staying within eyeshot. I don't know for sure if this is the case, but I've tested it out by killing the ambients when I spawn in, and I've not seen any more on the map. But if that's what's happening, I think just letting more of them spawn in would be a better solution. In addition, I really think they could use those model edits that we've talked about before. I know I and a few others have brought up some concepts before as to what each Mimus could look like while using the same rig and animations, and I even saw someone suggest to take the base Galley model unedited, shrink it down, give it a new skin, and use that as a Compsognathus, and I'm on board with that. Also, the Pelecanimimus is way too heavy for some reason. Dinosaurs still only bleed if they're hit with a kill shot, which kinda nullifies the purpose of the mechanic, because it's supposed to let us track a wounded dinosaur we want that's run off and isn't going to die unless we finish it off. The carnivorous dinosaurs still do this thing where, if shot, they'll run off and stand still for a bit and then come back and attack, even if they haven't seen you. I still think the original Carnivores games did this the best. If a dinosaur is startled or shot beyond a certain range, they'll run away, but if it's within a certain range, they'll attack. And I think just polishing the Carnivores AI in these instances would make the game much more immersive. And on a personal note, I'd still like to see at least an option to change the sprint button to an analog stick press, like in most first-person shooters, and an option to change the ADS view from a button press toggle to a manual hold toggle. Okay, so that's everything update related. Now I'd like to briefly address the state of Dinosaur Hunt's first paid DLC pack, released alongside this update. I know in my last video I said I was planning on getting the DLC, but as of right now, I have decided to hold off on getting the DLC pack. And as such, I'm not going to make a video covering it right now. I've waited a bit and watched a lot of other videos showcasing the features of the DLC and talked to people who've bought the DLC, and I'm afraid I just have nothing good to say about it. The models are ugly and don't match the game's art style, the animations on the dinosaurs are stiff and awkward and robotic, the sound effects are all out of sync and just awful to listen to. Not to mention there's been a lot of unprofessional behavior from our Digital Dreams liaison when discussing the DLC, along with the devs confirming that mod support for the game is not in the foreseeable future. The whole thing has just left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. and I'm afraid any video I made on it would just have nothing positive to say. I don't want to make a video like that, and you guys don't want to see a video like that. So I'm gonna hold off on getting this DLC. The most positive general reaction I saw from fans based on the comments of my last video about it was, well, this looks like it sucks, but I'm gonna get it just to support the devs because we're so starved for content. Which is just sad. Personally, I still think Dinosaur Hunt is fun as is, and I don't really want to taint it with such a sloppy product. However, I have heard rumblings and rumors that Digital Dreams are going to accept the community's offer to help remodel and retexture the DLC dinosaurs, and hopefully resound and reanimate them as well. And if that happens, I will get the DLC and cover it then. Now, I don't want to get anyone's hopes too high, these are just rumors that I've heard, but if this happens, I will get the DLC and cover it for you guys. The Carnivores community is unbelievably talented, and given the current situation, I really feel like using their help to bring more content to Dinosaur Hunt is the best option right now. So if things change with this DLC, I'll cover it, but until then, I really have no interest in it. Alright, so there you go guys, those are my thoughts on everything new with Dinosaur Hunt at the moment. All in all, as disappointed as I am with the DLC status, I think the free update is a really good one, even if there are still some big things that do need fixing. But now I want to hear from you guys. Are you enjoying the new update and the game's PC release? If you've gotten the DLC, what are your thoughts on it? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks as always for watching guys, you are all truly the best, and I will see you guys next time.